Welcome back. After a week off, both Michigan and Michigan State were back in action. For the number 20 Michigan Wolverines, it was a home game against Wisconsin. But let's begin our college rewind in Lincoln, Nebraska, where Michigan State was trying to hold its own against the Cornhuskers, but that grit would be tenuous at best.
Barney again, who had a nice return to get him in positive field position. There's a block. I mean, no chance. It's a touchdown. And the punter is hurt on top of everything else. Frazier's the setback out of the gun. Pressure off the edge. Childs. He's going to ad-lib again. Inside the 5, touchdown.
2 tight ends up there. Power play action.
Yep. Power play indeed. And Childs, touchdown. Johnson. I think he's been the most consistent player that Nebraska's had today on offense. Little bubble screen to Hunter. Isaiah. All day Isaiah. Long. Touchdown, Nebraska.
We got to find a way to play better for 4 quarters. I think about that first half. We're fortunate to be down only 7 going into halftime with a punt block for a touchdown. We've turned the thing over. We gave up a 50-yard punt return. And again, credit to them, maybe schematic and whatnot. Starting with me, I got to have this team ready to go faster than they did. We got to find a way to keep pushing, staying together. It's just what I told them. If we're going to finish better, we got to stay together. We got to play better.
Second down and goal at the 1. Haynes outside. How simple can it get? Touchdown, Michigan. Haynes in the backfield. Underwood underneath. Caught McCulley again with a burst. Still running. McCulley to the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. Simmons, deep drop. Lets it fly. He's got a man. Oh, picked up. Guess who? Run. Haynes, the deep man. They give it to Justice. Looks like a touchdown. And it is. Touchdown, Michigan. Justice Haynes does it again.
Shout out to Wink Martindale, the defensive staff, the players. You know, after that first drive, we looked at it. It was tackling. It wasn't the calls. It wasn't, it was tackling. It was missing tackles. And after that, I think it was 8 punts, an interception, and then a field goal at the end of the game. So pretty good. You know, that's what it came down to. And something we worked on we worked on Opportunity Week. We worked on this past week, and you can see the emphasis of that, with tackling, that helped us be successful on defense.
Okay, let's zoom in on Michigan. The Maize and Blue still victims of dropped passes, but are we seeing a star emerge in the presence of Donovan McCulley, Stoney? 112 yards looks pretty good.
He looked good yesterday. I won't necessarily say star. He played good. They need that wide receiver. They have 2 problems. A wide receiver group, very little explosion, and their offensive line still is not what Michigan's standards have been. And until those elements are fixed, in my mind, they're not, championship caliber.
Pat, you buy that?
Well, first of all, Wisconsin was pretty good against the run. That's the only thing they do well. So I don't know about that, but McCulley is definitely a help. I know Samaj Morgan's one of Stoney's favorite. By the way, Oxford, congratulations.
I know. Be West Bloomfield.
The blue turf, they took him down.
I know.
But Stoney's West Bloomfield. He's a PA.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go. Put it on.
Touchdown, Lakers.
Yeah, you didn't say it. Well,
no, it was a road game. I didn't go.
Yeah, but anyway, I live next to Oxford, by the way. Hey, anyway.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.
Shall we?
Honestly, Hayes is a great player.
Yeah, Justice Haynes.
Okay.
Definitely good.
Haynes is a great player, and that was a big get for him. I don't think Sharon Moore should be talking smack about Alabama, because you may have to see them down the road about getting him, and that could be an issue. Always take the high road on things like that. But I think they're pretty good. I think their schedule is set up pretty well now.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in pretty good shape.
Bryce Underwood is still evolving as a quarterback. What's missing from his game right now, Stoney?
Touch. He just throws the ball very hard, and people get all bent out of shape about it. I said, look, he's a kid. How long did it take Matthew Stafford to develop touch? It takes time for certain things.
But Stafford also had toughness, so he could take a few hits while he was learning it. But you're right. It's almost like golf. Touch is the hardest thing to learn.
Underwood, I think he does show poise. He doesn't, for the most part, throw the ball in places where he shouldn't. I thought he should have, or I don't know if it was the plays.
Yeah,
I think he should have run a little more.
He can run.
Yes, he can.
And he could maybe use that weapon a little bit more. But I'll tell you this about him. I think he was under enormous pressure, enormous expectations, and so far he's been okay. I think he's going to be a great player.
All right, we'll see what happens. Moving to Michigan State, sports producer James Paxton asked me if MSU wants to see Aiden Childs get killed, which was quite a comment on the Spartans' offensive line. That group needs help, guys, but is that help coming?
Look, I think when you watch Michigan State, I was telling Pat, it's like you'll watch them and like there's segments of the game where they look like a great team.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, they look like the worst team you've ever seen. It's if they could put everything together consistently for a whole game against, they could do something.
Yeah, but
if they don't, like Childs. At times he looks great, and then other times it's like, what is he doing?
How long do you keep going with the idea that there's still growing pains for over 70 new guys on the team? Is that now out of the way, or are we still dealing with that for as far as Michigan State?
Well, first thing with Childs, the team takes on his personality, the up and down nature, and that's on offense. Their defense was bad. Their defense was really good yesterday.
Yeah, they had sacks, actually.
I mean, they had Raiola, and Nebraska kind of handed them a lot of stuff, and they didn't take advantage of it. So Nebraska is a better team than Michigan State. They were at home, but that was an opportunity that they lost because Nebraska wasn't really very good yesterday.
Well, you know what? How can we start to measure the improvement on defense for Michigan State, Stoney? I mean, what do we look at? What do we point to?
Well, we'll find out coming up against UCLA, who somehow beat Penn State. That's a whole different ballgame. But the fact that they play this week, you know, Michigan State had that string of games where I don't think they even had a sack. And yesterday they had some sacks. They did a nice job in their secondary despite injuries. They're tackling, though. Oh, you saw the touchdown on the highlights.
Yeah.
Their secondary is not that good, but their front's been playing a little bit better. You know, they got a couple good players, Malik Spencer and a couple back there, but they lack a lot of depth back there. But you know, Childs has to be consistent. He was really good for a while, and then all of a sudden it goes away.
Obviously, more work that needs to be done. All right.